What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as Doge to BTC. We will also be looking at the coin market cap and following up with an article basically showing you what happens when Litecoin mining block reward halves in August of 2019, which is, as we know, right around the corner. Also, as you saw in the title, we will be comparing Litecoin to Dogecoin. 2019, which is the better coin? Is one better than the other to invest in? If any of that sounds interesting, make sure to stick around for the entire video. Don't miss out on anything, and let's jump right in. So guys, before we begin all the charting and analysis, let's first start off with the market cap. Market cap is 176.9 bill. We have a 24-hour volume of 41.7 bill and a Bitcoin dominance of 52.3. So what I'm noticing is Bitcoin dominance is increasing quite a bit. Interesting, something to take note of, with a 24-hour volume of $41.7 billion, also very interesting. So we're seeing an increased amount of volume compared to yesterday, and we're noticing a market cap of 176.9 billion, which is also a very interesting thing. That means markets are up, exchanges are, money is moving into exchanges, and exchanges are moving up in volume. Now, scrolling down to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, you can see that out of the 10, here we go, only one is really down, and that is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is now down 0.21% at $310, which is absolutely incredible. We, at least I was around when Bitcoin Cash, became Bitcoin Cash, when it was that fork, when that hard fork happened with Bitcoin and we had Bitcoin Cash. To, imagine it being $310 now. We've seen it all the way up to like $1,000. It's pretty absolutely crazy. Litecoin still holding the number 6 position. EOS number 5. We see a very, very, very close market cap. About, I'd say, $40 million off from EOS. That's a rough estimate. We can see that we are having about 1.3% up for EOS, and then we have Litecoin only up about 0.7%, but you can see they're very neck and neck in terms of their prices. The volume seems to be very similar as well, not really making much of a move. It's also very similar to Bitcoin as well, so we're not really seeing much difference. They're very strong and they're very connected, so we're seeing a lot of that movements happen. So that's why we like to graph all of the coins instead of just one to make our decision on investing, because they're very, very, very similar. So we like to have a conglomerate of data and compare all of them and then make our final judgment as to when to invest. But otherwise, we look good all around, nothing really too, uninteresting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch things up with the channel today, guys. So usually I do current events right after the coin market cap, but I'm actually going to save that for the end of the videos because I believe a lot of people are interested in the charting. So here's what you came for. Otherwise, if you want to stick around and hear about more about this Litecoin halving coming up, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. So jumping into the charts for today, you can see Litecoin is having a very interesting move. Now, we're going to compare Litecoin to Doge right now, and we're going to, pretty much look at the prices where we could potentially move to. We could look at the market caps too. We have Litecoin, which we saw is a market cap. Where's Litecoin? At 4.8 in market cap, $79 in price, and we have volume 2.1 with circulating supply of 61. I believe Doge is pretty low down. Here we go. Doge is number 26 compared to number 6. Dogecoin is at 336 million in market cap, so we can see that Litecoin is much higher, and then we can see it has a very, very low price, but there's a reason for that, The reason the price is so low, and I know that may be a turnoff to some, like, why is it so low, is we then have to look at the circulating supply. We saw that Litecoin's circulating supply is 61 million, but when you take a look at Doge's circulating supply, it is 119 billion. So there is a massive amount of Doge in circulating supply, which is why we're seeing such a low price. Now, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. You just buy more. So if you put in $100 to Litecoin, you might only get 1.5 tokens. You put it into Doge, you might get, I don't even know that calculation off the top of my head, but you might get 10,000 or 100,000 Dogecoins instead of just 1.5 Litecoins. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. We're truly just looking at the chartings and where that could potentially move to, especially more towards where we might see the most improvement in 2019. I know Binance Coin is definitely a coin we may actually end up reviewing next week because it is making some insane, incredible gains across the board. But, you know, Litecoin being only $79, you can see what's happening. So we're pretty much, I'm going to just zoom out to the 4-hour right now because I feel like that might be the better thing to take a look at. Here we go. So you can see we've had a very interesting pattern. There's obviously a clear resistance at around $80. We managed to break up past that a couple of days ago, or maybe 2 days ago, but we're now back under, or we were back under the high-low MMA on Litecoin's 4-hour. You can see the death cross did happen. That's usually what I like to say when the red band crosses over the green, and vice versa. If the green crosses over the red, it's a golden cross. So this death cross is not necessarily a bad thing. Usually it's more of a bearish pullback, which it's not necessarily a bad thing is what I'm trying to get to, but it does, you know, show that there is some, you know, negative resistance. Now, I just noticed a very interesting trend. There could be a potential downtrend on Litecoin. Let's see. Wow, that is an interesting thing. I did not notice that previously. I'm going to keep it purple, very similar to the other one we like to graph. So I did not notice this, guys, but this is very interesting. There seems to be a 4-hour symmetrical triangle formation happening on Litecoin, or at least a descending triangle. We have a downtrend, which started here back April 6th, so it's about 11 days of downtrend. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 confirmations. I did not notice this Litecoin downtrend until now. Now, obviously, all of you guys who are supporting me on Patreon did just get updated with this, so you can literally check your Litecoin live updating charts, and you should pretty much have this all. So, you know, if you guys also, huge shout out to everybody supporting me on Patreon. I literally wake up every day and see more and more people supporting me on there, so huge shout out to you guys for making this channel possible and supporting me. That is the only way you guys can get exclusive access to my charts with live updates. This way you really don't have to graph anything. All you got to do is follow along with me with your own charts on your own computer and watch the video, and you're good to go. You can get the calls before anybody else on YouTube does, so it's pretty awesome. Huge shout out to everybody supporting me on Patreon as well. It really does mean a lot. But otherwise, downtrend is forming right now. Very interesting. I did not notice this actually prior, but there is a downtrend forming here. So we're going to see, you know, this is putting a lot of downward pressure on the market. You know, we could literally drop it a little bit lower. It seems like this is more realistic. I'm actually going to leave it like this, where you can now see multiple confirmations all across the board, even here when we hit April 10th, and numerous ones right here. So this is definitely opening up a very good investment opportunity for Litecoin coming up in terms of when we should buy back in. Now, it does seem to hit around $77.44 seems to be where the lines cross over. That's where there's going to be the most pressure. So we did buy in, or at least I bought in at $76.50, so it may open up better doors to buying opportunities. I'm not buying anything over $76.50 for a while right now. So I did buy back in when we were here, which is beautiful. So we're going to see if we break bearish from this and this downtrend holds true, we're going to go lower. It is definitely a possibility we can fall to $69, $70, and very possible to fall to 67. The bearish pullback that I've been calling every day now is still possible. It's still here, and now this pretty much confirms it on the downtrend on the 4-hour. With all these confirmations, this is definitely a very strong resistance level for Litecoin's 4-hour, and does indicate that a pullback is coming. So we can see if we hit 77 and change and we break bullish from that, at least I have my $76.50 invested of 10%. So at least I'm profiting. If we break lower and we fall lower into the $70, $65 range, it's just more opportunity to dollar cost average and to buy in more than when I previously bought. So huge opportunities are coming, guys. This actually starts April 19th. So we have 2 days. So we have till Friday to really see what's going to happen. Now, we're definitely in a very interesting crunch because we have this high-low MMA pulling in, and we also have a resistance of 80. So there's a lot of congestion right here. So I want to say the latest we're going to see a move in Litecoin is Friday. We may actually see one sooner than Friday, potentially tomorrow or tonight. So keep a very close eye out on that. Moving on to Doge, I want to compare Doge now to Litecoin. Doge has a very big symmetrical triangle forming on its daily as well as its weekly. You can see right here what exactly I'm referring to in terms of how it's consolidating. And you'll notice that the patterns on Doge are very similar. It's almost like history is repeating itself. This looks practically identical to this. So if we graph it out and we kind of try to predict what's going to happen. So after we have this massive pullback, you can see here we have a run. So we just had our spike. Now we're having our consolidation down. We may inevitably see it pull like this, followed by more consolidation down here. And then we could potentially shoot up here. So this looks very similar if we continue the pattern as it forms. So you can see that right around here is the next move. We just broke bearish, or sorry, we just retested our bottom support. And you'll notice every time we test bottom support, we break bullish. So it is almost very likely that I may be buying into Dogecoin very soon, actually, because a move could potentially happen. We could see a run right now all the way up to maybe around the median zone, because you notice the last time we broke up we fell and we only came halfway, so can expect to see potentially a rise to here and then we fall lower. So we could see a rise at least halfway. So as soon as we test this bottom support here, I'm probably going to buy in, or maybe when we see the confirmation of the uptrend, that's when I'm going to buy in, ride the wave up, maybe about halfway, sell off, get some profits and call it a day. Moving on to Bitcoin and Ethereum, then we'll wrap it up with the charts, the current event. You can see that Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm actually going to combine these because their graphs look practically identical. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, practically identical, both above its high-low MMA on their dailies. They are both pulling back down. The only difference is Ethereum's dailies, its RSI is much lower than Bitcoin, so it may move quicker than Bitcoin would. If we see, Ethereum start to move up, then we should see Bitcoin move up, not really the other way around. But we look good. I'm just anticipating consolidation lower. I think 160 is definitely going to be the testing zone. I think consolidation is needed within Ethereum and Bitcoin. We are starting to look really nice actually on Ethereum's graph, so it doesn't look too bad, and we may see movements within Bitcoin and Ethereum. But my main focus isn't on these right at this moment, because this isn't really a good pattern to take note of. There could be an uptrend that's starting. It's possible. I'm just going to draw this in. It may be weak, but this is definitely a possibility. It doesn't even look that nice right now, but this is just a very quick analysis. We only have 2 confirmations. We need 3 before it's considered, or before I consider it a for sure uptrend. So we're going to have to wait for Bitcoin to trade out a little bit longer, and so we can see a graph form or a chart or trend form before we can really figure out when to invest, when to sell. You can see we're also very close to being overbought, so it's pretty much a no-go zone for my taste and standards. Otherwise, guys, I want to show you actually a couple of things. I want to jump into the charts, and before I do so, I want to pull up 2 graphs for you guys really quickly. I'll throw them up on the board right now, I'll throw them up on the screen right now, but you can see here's a picture of Bitcoin to US dollar, and you'll notice it's very similar to what we were just looking at. Now, I wanted to show you guys how textbook Bitcoin is acting right now. So there is an actual pattern forming, which is something we should take note of. Here you go is a bump and run reversal bottom. So if you have a textbook or you just look at technical analysis, I know there's an issue when you're comparing stocks to cryptocurrency. Crypto is much more volatile than stocks, but look at how true to form this downtrend is, this pattern. This may be an indication that we're going to start to move back up very soon. Now, my only negative is the fact that Bitcoin is nearing overbought on its daily. So Ethereum might make this move before Bitcoin does, but we may potentially see a pretty big run coming for Bitcoin. So it's just some food for thought. Now let's just jump into my opinion, or the article for discussion. So what exactly is going to happen when Litecoin halves in August of 2019? So Litecoin is one of the earliest spin-offs of Bitcoin, which came into existence in October 2011, we know was created by Charlie Lee. So Litecoin's block profitability will cut in half in the span of 5 minutes. In the crypto world, halving is a fixed event when the block rewards cut in half and the profitability from a block is reduced to 50%. So for Litecoin, its chain block rewards for mining are perpetually reduced by 1/2 every 840,000 blocks. With the way the current block generation time is set, is 2.5 minutes this event is occurring, is scheduled to happen every 4 years. Litecoin's current block reward is set at 25 Litecoins per block reward, and it's now going to decrease to 12.5 Litecoins per block reward on around August 6th. So that is exactly 1,680,000 blocks. So Litecoin has just had one. So Litecoin has had just one block halving in August 2015 when the price of the coin increased from around $1.50 to over $3 with a peak of $7 in 2015. But the hash rate dropped by roughly 15% around before quickly rebounding up. So we're going to see a bunch of different things potentially with this. The hash rate has increased, mining profitability just as miners exit the market. Permanent drops in mining profitability is going to happen. Price rallies before stabilization at new highs. So there's going to be a bunch of interesting things coming for 2019, so we may see a lot of movement very, very, very soon within the markets, especially Litecoin. So definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content. You will not want to miss out on any of these important exclusive events. Also make sure to check out the app that I have in the down below, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.